Well, Brexit's going to take ages, especially with this new socialist government in charge. So, we start off with the Friday's Prime Minister's speech in Florence, where nothing screams engaging, exciting and promising like a black and grey background with some black writing on it. I could already tell the speech was going to be nothing special. May spoke about offering rights to EU citizens. She said the UK would honour commitments made while it remains a member. Presumably that means some sort of parachute payment. She didn't give us that figure though. Some were happy with it. Michel Barnier, the chief negotiator for the EU, said the speech was constructive and he had a few other good things to say. There were quite a lot of EU leaders who came out in favour of it. But here's what Nigel Farage had to say about it.
What she's made clear is that her vision, leave the European Union, but we do so in name only. And I thought the most telling line of the whole speech was towards the end when she said, we don't seek an unfair competitive advantage. Well, that's what I voted for. I voted for us to be able to be competitive, to be global, to be free of European laws, and she shows no desire or no vision to be the kind of leader we need to take us on to be a global trading nation.
So, needless to say, he was very, very angry with what Theresa May had to say. A lot of Brexiteers would be, because a lot of people who want a hard Brexit especially might not have been too enthusiastic about what she said on Friday. It wasn't a very Eurosceptic speech. It was very sort of accepting and talking. She did slip in at one point when she said, there is no doubt the UK is leaving the European Union, but other than that, it was some very pro-EU rhetoric. I think I tweeted out that it didn't sound amazingly anti-European. So there will be more of the fallout from that this week. There'll be things people say about it, but I want to move on to another very important story from Friday. So on Friday, TfL announced that from the 30th of September, that's the end of this month, they are not going to admit a license to Uber in London. This is ridiculous. It's a horrible decision. Everything about it stinks. Here's what Sky News contributor Alex Dean had to say about it.
But it's obvious to me in the end, this isn't about safety, nor indeed is it about the tax questions for which Uber is frequently lampooned, something that's wholly outside TfL's remit. This is about lobbying. Uber in the end got out-lobbied by a monopolistic cartel of black cab drivers. And well done them. If that's what you want to have, it's a victory for the Luddites.
And he's exactly right. He's exactly right. Another reason this decision is terrible is because it doesn't do anything. There are 40,000 drivers who are going to lose their jobs at the end of the month, right? 40,000 drivers. That's a football stadium full of people told, bang, you're not going to have your job back anymore. There are almost 3.5 million people who use the app too, myself included, who are going to not have access to this cheap, quick alternative which arrives on time every time and isn't rude in the process. It's mostly younger people as well. That's their target audience if you look at any of their adverts, which I've seen on TV and YouTube and things like that. And many people find it's a good alternative to the other options that are out there that I'm going to discuss in a moment. And from what I've experienced, it's comfortable and clean. Sometimes I've been busy or I've been thinking about stuff and the driver has let me just sit there and listen to my headphones without needing to talk. Sometimes I'm free for a chat. I'm feeling in a bit of a more happy, more confident mood, and I'll have a chat with them about the weather or sport or politics or whatever comes to mind. And it's generally a great service, especially when it's late at night and you're in the middle of the suburbs. You're not really going to be able to get a black taxi to come and get you. But the reason this was a big issue, one of the reasons that it was sort of brought up, was a number of alleged and confirmed sexual assaults against Uber drivers, by Uber drivers on passengers. Now, these are awful, right? Those drivers need to be punished, no question. The highest possible punishment for each and every single one of them. For some reason, politicians on Friday who decided to politicise the horrible experiences of those women who were attacked, saying the app was unsafe. But the driver is a CRB check for safety. When the driver's on the way, you can see who it is or which car. they're using, whether it's a Honda Civic, is the no, it's not Honda Civic, is it? It's Toyota Prius, or it's a Mercedes, or it's a BMW, or whichever car they're using. It has their name and face. It says whatever X is your driver. And when you finish, you can rate the journey, you can give feedback, you can tell them what happened. The driver is there forever in your past rides tab, your receipts tab on your app. It's as safe as you can be. I've never had a problem using it. And there is, of course, the free market argument. As there always is with these things. The free market argument is, if people feel the app is unsafe, they will stop using the app. If enough people stop using the app because they believe it is unsafe, Uber will not be able to cover their costs. Therefore, Uber will go out of business, and the business will be removed from the market. The supposed dangerous business will be removed from the market without anyone having to say anything, any government having to get involved. And if any, when now the government has got involved and said that TfL, who have not been in the news very highly lately because of the strikes, because of the things that they've said about certain people, when they come swooping in with their agendas and their feelings and everything, it really does cause quite a fuss when it should just be left to the free market. It's also a horrible loss for consumers as well. They now have to go back to the more expensive types of taxi, the more expensive types of transportation, or on public services. It's pointless, as I said before, because drivers will literally switch to another app or go independent. They'll go to the sort of little mini cab services that you get, the small, thin places that you can just ring up. They're on the side of takeaways and things, or add-on businesses, and you just ring them up, tell them where you need to go, their license, and bang, you're there in 20 minutes or however long it takes you to get to wherever you need to go. Now, when these drivers switch, it increases the supply of drivers in London, which, guess what, according to economics, means prices are going to go down again on the alternatives to the black cabs, which means that this decision fails to tackle the other reason, which is, as I said just now, the removal of demand for black cabs. This was one of the big things that Alex Dean said. He said that they got out lobbied by the black cabs. Now, I also love black cabs. I love them. I've used them before. But I also love facts, right? They are more expensive than Ubers. They are, 100%. Right, which means that younger people who typically do and will throughout the rest of time have less money than older people who've been in their jobs for longer and have earned more and invested more. So they have more to spend, right? So they will choose the cheaper option automatically. That's the fact. But I guess facts don't matter anymore when feelings and rhetoric are involved with our politicians. Anyway, that's it from me. I'll be back on Monday where I'll have some more political stories, and I'll have more business stories other than Uber, and I will have more on Iran's missile launch and Trump's presumable comments on that, as well as his ongoing debate and battle with Rocket Man. My name's Max, and this has been the EB Podcast.